Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to make a video about my digital note-taking journey throughout my 4 years of my college undergrad degree. Now, I'm making this video because I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about digital note-taking and how the iPad Pro completely transformed their note-taking experience, how it changed how they can use it as a laptop replacement, all these things. I'm here to just tell you my personal take on it. I don't think iPad Pro, as great of a device it is, I don't think it's a laptop replacement. It's meant to be something else. It's never meant to replace a laptop. I'll get into that more later on in this video. So starting off with my first 2 years of college, handwriting my notes works well for me. However, there's a lot of annoyances with handwriting your notes. Depending on what way you handwrite your notes, you can get a small spiral notebook, composition book, or a binder like I did because I want to maximize the amount of notes I can carry with me. But you're limited to the amount of pages within each notebook. So, some spiral notebooks may be limited to one subject or 3 subjects or 5 subjects. And also, as you got more paper, it would weigh a lot more. So when I carried the binders, it was a hassle because you had to carry like these 2 thick binders with all your notes. There would be days where I had to decide, do I want to take this binder with me or this other binder? And some days I would even bring the wrong binder to class. So I would have to make do during math while the professor is covering lessons from a prior lecture. I would just have to write my notes over again and then transfer them to the other binder I left at home. So those annoyances weren't enough for me to change how I took my notes, so I kept handwriting them. Then when it came to study for the exams, I would just review my notes, look at them over and over again. Now, fast forward to my 3rd year of college. I wanted to get my own personal laptop because all my peers were carrying their own laptops, so they could look at the course material while the professor was giving the lecture. And that's something that I want to be able to do, considering 15-inch laptop's not that portable. It's way too heavy for me to practically carry it with me. After researching and looking at some affordable laptops, I settled on the Lenovo Flex 14. No, there wasn't a particular reason why I chose that laptop. It was mainly the price. It was very affordable for me at the time. As a marketing major, you have to work with a lot of the Microsoft applications like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And getting a Windows device is just the best for that. And plus, I've been using Windows for a long time, so that's what I was comfortable with. So it was a very easy transition to get started with that laptop. And it was pretty cool having a 14-inch device, and it was portable. I can carry it with me to class and I could pull up course material. It was around this time when I discovered digital note-taking. Now, I had purchased a stylus with the laptop because it is a 2-in-1 device. However, I'll get into this when I talk about the iPad. It's not as fluid or as nice of an experience as an iPad. You fold the keyboard backwards and you have this huge cumbersome 14-inch tablet. Like, people like to rag about the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, but that device is more comfortable to use than 2-in-1. So I just ended up just treating it like a regular laptop. Around this time, a lot of marketing courses during this year. So it was a lot of information being covered, and I didn't feel like writing my notes out take up too much time, and I wanted to pay attention to what the professor was talking about during lecture. So what I would do is just pull up Google Docs and just type out all my notes. And then when it came to review for the exam, I would just print them out and annotate over them. Now, what was great about typing my notes and really this digital system is that I had everything saved within the cloud. I had everything backed up, so I didn't have to worry about losing anything. I had everything that I needed right at my fingertips. I didn't have to carry this heavy binders. I just needed my laptop. Also, I could pull up the course material while looking at the lecture, so it was really nice to have that convenience. However, I did forget more as a result of this. It was a more passive experience because I can type pretty fast, but I'm not really taking in the material. So when it came to review for the exams, I'd have to relearn some of that stuff because I just didn't take it in as easily since I wasn't writing down the most important parts of the lecture. It was one of the hardest semesters, so I had to make the choice after winter break that I gotta go back to handwriting notes because it works way better than typing them out. But I didn't want to go back to the binders and everything, the binders notebooks. I'm over that. So I decided to purchase an iPad because a lot of videos were talking about the iPad Pro, but what really intrigued me was the 7th generation iPad, mainly because the price point was pretty affordable. It had the features that the iPad Pro had, which was the Apple Pencil and keyboard. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I got it on Black Friday. If the iPad is kind of then I could still use it to replace my iPad Mini 2. The iPad Mini 2 I used as an e-reader for all my textbooks whenever I rented them. Can you imagine that? Carrying these heavy texts. No joke, some of my peers will be carrying these heavy textbooks along with their heavy binders and laptop. I'm like, how can your back take all that? So I rented my textbooks. Once I got into the spring semester, I really enjoyed the note-taking experience. So it combined both of what I liked from handwriting my notes to my digital notes on the laptop. So I had everything accessible at me at once. All my notebooks, everything within either Notability or GoodNotes. I just had everything right at my fingertips. I didn't have to worry about what binder to pick or what notes I need to take with me. I just had everything at once. I could back it up to the cloud. And the thing is, with my regular notes prior to getting the iPad, I would just write it in pencil. I didn't do anything fancy with colors or anything. But the iPad allowed me to experiment a little with the different colors of pens and highlighters, all these different tools. It was also faster to pull out the iPad and just get to writing. Whereas with the computer, you had to start up, wait for it to load a little bit, then you're in. The iPad, nope, just quick and easy. Once we had to go in lockdown, as all of you know, we had class online and changed the way that I did notes. I was still handwriting my notes digitally on there because I love the experience of the regular iPad so much that I went and got the Pro refurbished through the Apple Store, which I recommend. If you're going to get a Pro, go to the Apple refurbished store. It's pretty much the same as a new product. You just get a reduced price. Now, with my fourth and final year of college, I had switched my note-taking method. So we started full on Zoom and I had everything I needed accessible to me. So I didn't really have to worry about either bringing the iPad or laptop for class because at this point I was burned out at handwriting notes. It is repetitive, just writing the same thing over and over again. I mean, it works your brain for sure, but it is a time-consuming process to write notes over and over again. So what I decided to do was annotate the slides because the professors had the lecture slides accessible online. So what I did is either through GoodNotes or Notability, I would download the slides, annotate what the professor was saying alongside the notes. This had a good amount of benefits. It made my note-taking process faster, but not passive. What I did was I wrote stuff the professor was saying during lecture that wasn't on the slides or the book. Because sometimes professors will do that. They'll have questions that wasn't in the lecture slides or in the book, and it's something they said. So it helped so I can write that down in the lecture slides. Because really, the notes are right there, so why would I need to rewrite the notes? Key bits of information I would highlight or underline. I was still following along, but it saved me so much time. I can actually listen to the lecture without worrying about scrambling bits of information down before the professor moves on to the next slide. I would already have my notes ready for me, and I could just look over the lecture slides and take a look at the additional notes. Annotating my slides was definitely a different method of studying for me, but it worked out for my final year. With the iPad for digital note-taking, you don't really need the Pro. Unless you're planning on doing more with it, the base iPad, like especially the 9th generation iPad, is such a good deal. You get 64 gigabytes, which is better than 32. Don't get 32 gigabyte iPad. Do not. Had the 32 gigabyte and I was already full by the end of the spring semester during my third year. Do not get 32 gigabytes. But the 64 gigabytes is a good amount. You get the Apple Pencil and keyboard support. So really, and not only that, but you get the A13 processor, which is plenty fast, along with the center stage camera. So if you want to do some Zoom conferencing, it's a good camera. It's on the Pro I have right now, which is a lot more money. The accessories are a lot more expensive. If you're a college student thinking about digital note-taking and you're on a budget, just get the base iPad. You'll be completely happy with it and it'll last. If you want to spring for a nicer looking iPad, because let's be honest, the 9th generation iPad isn't the newest looking device. You can either get an Air or a refurbished Pro on the Apple Store is the overall better value. So in terms of a purchasing decision, first go for the laptop though, because you need the laptop the most. The iPad, as great of a device it is, can't really replace your laptop. There's certain applications, like for my marketing degree, for example, Microsoft applications, you get a mobile version. You get the full version on the iPad. Which, if I had the full version on the iPad, for me personally, I could totally use the iPad as my one and only device. The screen size, I would definitely need to jump to 11-inch if I was doing that solely. Other majors require different applications, so go for the laptop first, depending on the budget you have. Then go for the iPad. So really for me, the iPad served as a supplemental tool that really boosted my academic studying methods. So with that being said, I hope this helps some students that are going into their next semester or just starting out college. Stay tuned for more content.